For coming today, even through the rain. We hope that more people will actually make it today for this artist talk with Christopher Idowu about The Secret Place. My name is Ladunmi Lambo and I work at Alliance Francaise. I'm the cultural coordinator there. But today I am the moderator for for The Secret Place. So just thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And I guess we can get started now, all right? So, Christopher, do you mind telling us a bit about yourself and also your practice?
All right. First of all, I'm going to say thank you to everyone who has taken time out of the tight schedule. We know how Lagos is, and we have been able to step out. I appreciate that, and that is going to give a cue to talking about myself. Um, I was born into a missionary house and Badagry. I grew up there, and the environment, everything I saw there, kind of was an inspiration to me, even though I wasn't aware at the time. But having to begin to create works now and being an artist really takes me back there to be able to see that there are influences from that. So having grown up there, I went to secondary school in Badagry, and from there I had nuances. Of being an artist at the time. My elder brother wanted me to be a medical doctor because he's into the science, and but I mean, naive as I was then, I said, yeah, I think that is very nice. I think I can be a medical doctor. I was quite ambitious. I said I was going to have the biggest, hospital in Africa at the time. So, but I wasn't sure of what I was saying. But I know God is very sure of what He wanted me to do. And fast forward to when I got to, I mean, from primary school, I've been making drawings and all of that, but it wasn't that consistent, But when I got to secondary school, I began to delve into art. I love to draw every now and then. So when it was time for they give us assignments to maybe make illustrations in maybe to depict a particular story, especially in CROS or CRK to different people at the time. So they will come to me and I'll make drawings for them, and they give me some money. So I was like, I think that's getting interesting, But a time came I stopped again. But what created a shift when I was going to senior secondary school, there was this man, old soldier, we call him, of blessed memory. He told my dad that this boy, let me speak in Yoruba, I will translate it. Drawing, which means that let this boy go and learn how to draw because he's very good at it. I mean, to the observation at the time. So going back now and looking at those drawings, I was like, so, but yeah, after the whole experience, when I go to senior secondary school, I will go to the man I was learning with doing apprenticeship. So I would go there after secondary school. But it got to a time that I applied for an art competition hosted then by NNPC Chevron. So at the time, I wasn't even sure I was going to get it. So as a secondary school student, but I love to draw and all of that. So I just got a call from my brother that, oh, among the finalists. I think we had like 20 people from the whole of Nigeria at the time. I was so happy. And my principal was like, do you have a good uniform? Don't worry, let us iron uniform for you. Get everything. Do you have your socks? Everything is, they make sure that everything is nice,
Yeah.
From where I'm coming from, God has to help us. We believe every day to live by faith. And everything went as at that time. So I went to Port Harcourt. That was my very first time of going to Port Harcourt, and it's just this drawing on paper that can take you to that place. All right, and when we got there, I was coming from Araromi Ilogo Senior Secondary School, Okwafo, Badagry. So I saw people from the schools from Ireland, Ikoyi. I was like, it's all right. So when you take a boy out of the village and go to a different setting, so it kind of exposed me a little bit at the time, and that was the very first time I came back to Lagos from Port Harcourt by flight, and I think it's really changed my perception on how I see. And at the time when I got back home, I was like, would I sleep for this place again? And all of that. But I realized that God has a reason why He took me through where I came from and all of that. So fast forward to after that, I began to apply for competition. At the time, I would just take maybe my brother's phone, browse online and check what's going on in terms of art competitions, and I applied for it. Then, after the whole art competition phase, I wanted to go to Uniben, but I ended up going to Yabatech. So where I did ND, 2 years in general arts, and then also did 2 years after my IT. So 2 years after IT in HND, where I majored in painting, together in kind of drawing. So fast forward to my practice, right? So after school, we believe that you should be doing art professionally to those who want to do art. So before I left school, I've been leaving school, sneaking out and going for residencies. At the time, 2019, I participated in this rally boot camp. So then I was still in school. So when I go back, my lecturer was like, "You are going to fail this course." I'm sorry, man. I'm your baby, please. So, but all of that kind of contributed to my desire to wanting to learn art. But in my penultimate year in school, in Yabatech, I started painting, making beautiful paintings for the sake of, art for art's sake. And then when I was about to leave school, my friend, Julius Agbaje, we have conversations, and I will tell him that I feel like there's a deeper call beyond just making beautiful art, so to speak. And that may be subjective anyways. So I will speak, I feel like there's this pull and there's this desire to really create works that live beyond the whole ephemeral or the transient nature of things and all of that. So I have moments of that conversation with him and all of that. So, but then when I got out of school, I began to practice. I began making the. I knew that there was something. There's a longing. There's a hole that none of the things I'm doing at the moment could fill for me. And when I was in school, not school, home, I will have dreams of being taught how to draw and what you should be doing, create works in this light and let it glorify my name. I think maybe an influence because I came from missionary home, so my dad being a pastor and all of that. So fast forward to now, I now saw myself as a vessel, and after I came to realize that I'm not just here to just make art, just to make money. I wasn't created to hustle for food, so to speak. And that begins the point of questioning that what more is it to my life? What do I really want to do? And with this art, then I saw it as a tool for change, and which now begin to move through different strata, like creating in art as a gallery space and also doing community engaging projects. And fast forward to the Secret Place exhibition. The whole idea was incubated around 2022 when I was on service in Benue State. So the whole experience at that time was kind of a shift, created a shift inside of me in terms of now really, really knowing God beyond hearsay, and now really having a personal, there was that awakening inside of me, and that was what birthed that idea of the secret place, a place of longing, a place of continual dwelling. If this God is real, I want to know Him. I want to really walk with Him. I want to waste, if there be any word like that, And it was a progressive journey for me. And I begin to incubate that idea. You see some of the works there started from 2022. So I will stop, I will go in, investigate more, ask questions and all of that. So up until now, the secret place is a place of dwelling for me, a place of relationship with the divine, a place where I come to know God, not just through any other means, but now know Him personally. That now I know that He's alive and living inside of me, and that is the standpoint from which I now see everything, and that is what gave birth to the whole idea of the secret place. Me wanting to long, to desire, to hear from Him. At the time, I couldn't. When I hear the word, it will look like an arrow trying to attack me. But right now, because there's that regeneration, I now have His nature. I could now enjoy the fellowship, even though it sometimes will come as discipline. Maybe growing up, some of the children would, myself, I wouldn't like discipline. Be like, Shebe kwa mini, and all of that. You want to kill me? But I realized that all that He took me through is as a result of His love. And this exhibition, I'm just inviting people into that, let me say, the vulnerable state where I revealed, like, just be bare and not ashamed, that this is me and this is what the secret place is to me, a place of communion, a place of devotion, a place of spiritual awakening, and a place of to see beyond the material world, to bring people to a point of, why am I here? Is there no more? Am I just to live here and move and die? So what is more to my life? So, and those are the questions I'm asking, and I'm believing that God is helping me. Praise God.
Thank you so much for that answer. I think it was a lot more than I expected you to say, to be honest. You kind of,
if I start saying
now
it,
I have a few of my questions are gone. Thanks for that. Thank you so much for explaining. It really sounds like your relationship with God is blooming. I don't think it's something that can ever, there's no ceiling when it comes to a relationship with God. It just keeps growing and growing and growing until, like you say, we're no more. That makes sense. But can you maybe tell us I doubt you have a favorite art piece, but if you do, could you tell us why it is your favorite, and I guess where it is? I don't know if it's anywhere that anybody can see it right now. Yeah.
I think this one.
That, okay. Can you give us the title? Why is it your favorite, actually?
Okay. So the title of the piece is A Seed Sown in Hope. So I'll take a cue from this story or this narration. If a farmer goes to the farm, he goes to plant a seed, and then believes that at the end of the cycle of the particular seed, let's say maize now, it will take a particular time. Let's say you plant mango, the period of germination and all of that. So there's a hope that when you come back and you believe that you've done the necessary things and till the ground and all of that. And so taking a cue from that, I kind of see myself as a seed that first have the seed that is from above implanted into me, that when I'm now planted in God, so to speak, or wherever environment I find myself, I can become a beacon of hope to other people. I can become that light, be the light in a different environment that I find myself in. So it may look like um, everything is looking going through a decay process, but a seed cannot grow except it dies. And I take a cue from the Bible that says, except a corn of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it abides alone. So I cannot really be fruitful if I hide myself. What I mean is that uh, let me just bury this talent. But I have to trade it, and that is laying. I'm resting. I'm not worried. I'm not afraid. Is it going to spoil my life if I'm submitted to Him? So it's a piece that talks about that vulnerable moment and submission unto God for me, and also it's quite daunting because I try to experiment with the mesh. Um, how and ideally the mesh is to be for printing. You use it to print, but I research into it and see, let me experiment with how can you leave the mesh to be a finished work on itself, and which is still progressive anyways. So that is why I can say that this is my favorite piece, because I it took a lot of help from above for me to know that, okay, let me leave it this way. So it takes courage to be an artist for me, and that is what this work talks about.
Okay, would you also say that it was probably one of your most challenging? You expressed that using the mesh was something that you hadn't really done before, like as a final piece.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah, it
say?
was quite
Yeah.
challenging. Like, what are people going to say? Yeah, what are you presenting and all of that. So it was a moment of you just have to do it, and that is what it
Yeah.
is for me. Because I learned early that I'm not creating work for collectors. You know what I mean? So when I have that understanding, it helped me personally, helped me to create freely without any obstacle in the process.
Yeah. We're actually I think in a period where, well, from my experience, maybe if a few artists actually put collectors first, like, and also marketability first. Would you say you felt that pressure, and would you even cave to that kind of pressure? Sometimes, like you said, it can be tough, like
Yeah.
making art to eat. Some people, this is their only job. This is their only livelihood, the only way that they have an income. So what would you say about that? Like producing work for marketability, producing work for, like you said, the collectors.
All right. So I'm going to take a cue, historically speaking, how the first um, artists that we reference make like ghostly hands on the cave, and they weren't creating because they wanted people to buy. So, and that helps to preserve genuinity, you know. And for me, having learned that I'm not creating for this as much as I want the works to kind of inspire hope and all of that in people, I realized that if I do that, I'll just be jumping from one trend to another. Yeah. So it's either you say that this is what I want to do, and when you kind of submit to what you want to do, the word becomes like your library, like you how to know which it kind of filters every other thing. You know that your sustenance is not from either somebody buys or do not buy. So when for me personally, I realized that my sustenance is not from that; it's from God, and I draw my everything that I need. He makes provision. So, and with that understanding, I realize, and either books are not sold for quite a number of time or a period of time rather. I'm at sure and I'm at rest that let me keep doing what I'm doing, right? If this is the ministry, which I mean, being an artist kind of taught me how to rely on God and trust Him on every means.
Yeah, it would.
So because you don't know where the next thing is coming from. They say there's a rainy season and dry season, so you have to plant when there's dry season. So regardless of the season, when it helped me to dig that well deep enough. When you dig a very deep well, either raining or dry season, you do not care about that. You know that your source is not from all of that. And first of all, I wasn't created to look for food. All the things I needed was provided.
Thank you so much for that answer. Um, okay, I think that also takes me into the next question. Like outside of your faith, what would you say influences you as an artist?
Hmm.
No is nothing is also an answer. It's just faith is fine.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest,
Mhm.
my interaction with people around me helped me to better kind of see. Um, I mean, from this whole exhibition is like how my relationship with God gives me a better lens on how to see my environment, right? So either I'm doing a community engaging project, um, maybe a number of them may not necessarily be living from the standpoint of my faith at the time, but because of the state that or what kind of inspired me from that environment, I will want to respond to it regardless of what it is for me. So I'm working from that lens, but I'm not limited to um, um, which or what environment, what story kind of inspired me. And again, I'm only a co-creator. I'm in co-collaboration with God. So if He points me to this, I do. So as I see, I do, so to speak. So, and if He says that create from this environment, create in response to this thing. So I'm going to do that. So beyond that, there's a lot of other things that I believe that my practice is fluid. As much as they want me to do, I will do. So that's kind of response to that question. I don't know if that suffices.
I know, I think it's fine actually. Um, Especially in terms of interacting with people, because the Christian faith isn't as much as it is personal as you have actually, as we can actually see here. This is from a secret place, but you've brought it out into the open. So it's almost like it's no longer a secret. So I do believe that yes, interacting with people, I guess that's how the gospel also is shared. I mean, so really, as much as it is a personal relationship with God, God actually does want that personal relationship to be exhibited. So I think that it was really achieved um, in this exhibition. And also from your answer, I understand.
Yeah.
Could you actually speak a little bit more about the immersive experience? It's in another room here.
Yeah.
Could you speak a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think for me, it's kind of the final nail in the coffin, so to speak.
Okay.
So, and is kind of talks about how my day-to-day life looks like when I wake up, and I'm just kind of bringing people into that vulnerable moment, my ideation, my notes, and bringing you into that space to seal you out of the noise. So that's how it is for me. As much as I can interact and have fellowship with other people, I won't really know how to fellowship if I don't first have that first relationship. This is how we know that we move from death onto life, that we love one another. And that is the love is what makes me to be vulnerable and being able to open up. There is nothing to hide. You can only hide when you are in the dark. May they not see me and all of that. So, but yeah, it's me bringing people into my kind of personal space and presenting you my experience and perhaps maybe something you will find interesting too. Maybe it to be something relatable.
Yeah.
So, and that is basically what it is.
Yeah, no, it really feels like you have transported people like into your brain or like your heart. Like that's actually what it feels like. You know what? You guys just gonna look at it. So don't worry. Okay, so what would you say that you are currently working on, if you don't mind sharing?
Well. I don't have any work. I sound irresponsible, right?
No, no. I mean, thank you for the honesty.
Yeah. Like I said, I am just co-creating
Mhm.
with God. So whatever He tells me to do, now here with the goal, I will follow. I don't have the, I don't have, well, following Him does not make me mindless, but rather is now from that renewed mind. This is what we want to do now, and I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that way, there are, I mean, quite a number of things that He has mentioned, and you will see by the grace of God when is the right time. So yeah, but let me sum it up. God is helping us.
Amen. This is true. What would you say is important for you? Like the important message that you want everybody to walk away with for people who are, well, for consumers, I guess, for your clients, for people who are just everyday people who just come and, walk in the gallery just to look at art, and also for artists. Yeah, I feel like different messages need to be communicated to these sets of people.
Hmm.
Are you asking him what you should say?
How did you know?
It's fine. Take your time.
So I think what I want people to see, first I will start from artists, is we can only create what is true to us. And many things can influence what is true. So, but it is important to know that, be sure that what is true to you is the truth. And that will help us to kind of properly be a beacon of hope to uh, our generation. And that is what I will collapse this whole experience I want people that come to this show to have, in that this work should, that souls will find peace beyond the material world, that eyes will be open, that people that have been isolated in darkness will see light, that those that sat in regions of darkness begin to see the light. And people who have been told to only serve mammon for the rest of their life, you see that there is more to life. Saw a movie, and I'm going to end with this. It says the boy asked the man is very rich, and the man's obviously have everything that the world think you should have. And the boy asked him, very small boy, "Are you satisfied?" And he said, "No." So it means that there is no way we can find peace until we come to Him. I pray that the Lord give us understanding.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you. Well, thank you all as well for listening. I mean, I don't know if anyone has any questions or any comments actually that they would like to make. Feel free.
I just want to thank you for this exhibition, and also thank you for showing that we can show our vulnerabilities. I'm not saying you're vulnerable, but we can show our vulnerabilities in public. We can feel deeply, because your art really touches the soul. And I must say the colors you have used as well. I don't want to say cloudy, but they're a bit unusual how you've done the art. But thank you for making one vulnerable, and it just touches the soul. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank God
Yeah.
for helping me to do that. I wouldn't have done it myself.
Yes.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, but I'm satisfied in Him, but I won't say it is enough. There is more. The more I climb, the more I know there is more to climb. So, but only in Him I know that I'm satisfied. But my satisfaction will cause me to long for more of him because I know that ultimately that's my satisfaction.
Sorry.
I'd like to ask you, what really strengthens you? What keeps you going in the midst of all of this? Seeing that what you have, the need to have created for yourself is not something that most artists will want to delve into because for most people, they're into pursuit of things, how they can make money, and what keeps you going to strength, that strengthens you even in the midst of all of these things that seem to contradict what your pursuit is?
I think finding satisfaction in God, kind of knowing that there is more beyond the material world, and that's gives me a focus. There's a joy that is not sponsored by the things around me. So it's from the inside, and as long as I can see that, I'll keep running.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm curious about this piece, right? It feels like there's a separation. So I see light and darkness, or is that just okay? Is it on? I see. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
No, they.
It's hi, hi, hi. Okay, so I see that there's some sort of separation. It feels to me like light at the top and then darkness below, or is that dark color for soil and then the light for the clouds or the sky, or is there something deeper like I'm sort of sensing?
All right, thank you. Honestly, at the time I made this work, um, I made this work when I was in a residency, and the canvas I took to the space was not big enough, and so for me to create the larger piece that was coming to me, I needed to make two different canvases together, and that was what gave the sense of that separation. But on the long run, as I continue to look into it more, it gives a sense of the earth and heaven, what lies here and what lies there. So it's presenting somebody that is sort of in a liminal space, more like living beyond time and space, so to speak. And so that is the whole idea around this piece.
Thank you.
Hmm. Are there any other questions from anyone or comments?
A comment from me, I feel like a lot of the art I see, I'm always complaining to my friends. I just feel like artists always seem to want to create from this dark and tortured place. And it's always very like, there's a lot of angst and there's a lot of, I don't know. And I'm always like, where is the art that is inspired by hope or inspired by God or, inspired by light? And so, yeah, I guess just thank you for the exhibition and how you've even shared about it as well. I think it gives me hope in terms of, I guess just what the art scene is like and, just the excellence of the work as well. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank you. I actually just wanted to ask, outside of, I guess, being a visual artist, is there any other things that you do? I know you mentioned some communities.
Yeah, like my practice kind of go hand in hand with community engaging projects, like the one I thankfully to God was able to do in Benue. So I mean, outside painting and drawing, sometimes I play the piano. Sometimes I do other few things, So to the glory of God. So yeah, but there are other things that I venture into, like for instance, my work starts with photography, right? Sometimes I document, go and compose the objects, subjects, maybe objects that I use for the work, and so also sometimes I kind of believe that a time will come that I will also venture into that. Seeing that this exhibition talks about involves sound um, and other installation and sculpture and all of that. So it shows the they cursed for wanting to, do more within the ambit of what I'm allowed to do at the time. So yeah, and the other things I'm doing, yes, and other things I like to venture into. Hopefully, yes.
Okay. Good. Well, if that is all, and there are no more questions or comments, just want to thank you everyone for coming, and thank you for taking the time even through the rain. And I really do hope that this exhibition inspires you. And if you're an artist as well, as this young lady has mentioned, um, it doesn't always have to be all gloom and doom. There is joy, Yes, maybe you're hungry, but that's just part of a greater story. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming, and thank you so much, Idowu, as well. Christopher, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for moderating. I really appreciate it.